Friends, good morning. It's good to be with you this morning. And you get the gold star for that reading. Those are hard names. I always thought that the genealogy from Matthew, all those names before, Christmas Eve, so-and-so became the father. I always thought that's the hardest reading. But this is up there for second place, for sure. Those are tough names. Okay, so first a story. So it was a few years ago. I was on a flight flying back to Cleveland. And I've shared before how much I, love sitting on planes next to people and having long conversations. And that's sarcasm. Okay. Inevitably the conversation turned into, what do you do? Oh, I'm actually a Catholic priest. And we were like 20 minutes into the flight, and we still had 3 hours to go. This person decides to say, oh, well, I used to be Catholic. I'm like, great, this is great. And then they proceeded to tell me why they left the church. Why they left the church all those years ago, because they got so sick of the church asking for money. This appeal, that campaign, this fundraiser, not to mention the Sunday collection and the ushers poking you in the face with the stick in the basket, right? We don't do that here. But that's why they left. They left because they got so sick of what they said the church was constantly asking for money. And I know she's not alone. I know there are a lot of folks who have been, and maybe some are now, who are frustrated by that aspect of the church, that we do have to ask for money. And again, in a certain sense, I get it, especially when, the frustration when it seems that money's being mismanaged, or when the church is not being a good steward of the resources that have been entrusted to us, or there's not good transparency, all of those things. I fully can appreciate the frustration. Like, that's why in the not too distant future, after I meet with the finance council here, we're going to be presenting a financial report to the parish, just the state of the health of the parish in terms of our finances, so we're all on the same page. But the truth is, there are two main reasons why the church talks about and asks for money. Two primary reasons. The first is that the church practically exists as a legal and financial entity in the world. In the world. Within the framework of society, and nothing that we have is free. The only thing that's free is grace. That's the free thing. God's unmerited gift of his love, his redemption, his grace. That's what's free. But like the lighting, the electricity, the heat, the gas, having a roof that doesn't leak, having a parking lot that doesn't have, potholes that you can get lost in, all of those things, they cost money. In a few short weeks, possibly even as soon as next week, the forecast, they're talking about snow flurries next week. Not to be a downer, but like our maintenance guys, they do all of the plowing. Speaking of which, sometime here in the near future, if you or someone wants to help us fund the financial dream of buying a new plow for our truck, that'd be great. Give me a call. So that's the first reason, just the sheer practicality that the church, we exist within the context of society, with all of its legal financial obligations. But the second thing, the reason why we talk about money so often is because Jesus talked about money a ton. It's fascinating, actually. He spoke about money and possessions more than he spoke about prayer in the Gospels. If you go verse by verse, he spoke about money and possessions more than he spoke about prayer. Why? Because as we heard in that gospel today, you cannot serve two masters. You cannot wrap your life around mammon, right? The love of money, and at the same time try to wrap your life around the Lord. It's just not going to work. Money and possessions, they're not intrinsically evil. Like they just can so easily and quickly become a pseudo-messiah. That's the problem. It's a very tempting idol. It's a very tempting, seductive Messiah, right? Money provides this semblance of control. Money provides a semblance of safety, of salvation. I will be okay if I have all of these resources at my disposal. I'll be okay because of the money that I have, the phone calls I'm able to make, the connections I have. Money seems to be able to deliver on the heart's desire for happiness, our universal longing for fulfillment. But in the end, money, it cannot deliver on any of the promises it seems to make. That's the thing. Right? In the end, nobody can buy their way out of their deathbed. Only Jesus has given us a way out of death. Like this is why the Lord in his mercy, in his love for us, and through the church, he asks us to tithe. He asks us to be generous so that we can be detached from the idolatry of this pseudo-Messiah. That's the truth. That's the truth. You cannot serve both God and mammon. I want to invite us to really, really contemplate that today. You cannot serve both God and mammon. You cannot have a divided heart forever. You will resolve it somehow. And praise God, it'll be wrapped around the Lord. Amen.